Hello? Hello? Just testing out some audio.
There's a little.
Oh, fab.
There's this little like bar light, like the normal like standard bar thing.
Yeah.
Stop raining.
Two's not connected. They're both about half full.
Do you wanna actually? Yeah.
Two's not connected. Is that the string making a noise?
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Testing 2.
Oh, we don't have theirs. Describe
Hello and welcome to the Sports Gazette YouTube channel for West London Varsity. It was supposed to be St Mary's University against Brunel University this afternoon. Brunel have had to pull out, so it's going to be a tens match between St Mary's and Royal Holloway. Hello and welcome to the Sports Gazette YouTube channel for West London Varsity. It was supposed to be St Mary's University against Brunel University. Brunel have had to pull out, so it's going to be a tens match between St Mary's and...
Tell me when to go. Hi. Welcome to a drizzly Twickenham campus for the Women's Rugby Union at West London Varsity. I'm Alex Reed, and actually the game will be a tens rugby match, a friendly between St Mary's and Royal Holloway, as Brunel had to pull out. Twickenham campus for the Women's Rugby Union at West London Varsity. I'm Alex Reed, and actually the game will be a tens rugby match, a friendly
Just slightly peeking, so.
Yeah, just hold it further away.
That's fine. Yes, they did, sir. Perfect.
There you go, great. Just whack that off for now. There you go, mate.
Thank you. So what, should I just hold it here?
Yeah, you're about perfect there, I think. I'm just going to wait for the levels to come through on this.
Much more individual sport than anything else on this, probably in the entire varsity today. Like. Nice for the rugby lads to lead as well. They're all them. They're, what, like a dozen of them?
Yeah, and the massive crowd that was there earlier seems to have dissipated.
There's about 100 people over there, like, and now they're all fucked off. They're probably trying to show us piss. Raiders. Am I wrong? Or is that on? I think it's on. Please. Don't tell me that's on. Like. It will be seen. So just. Okay. Ooh, their jerseys are wrong.
Who are these people?
Royal Holloway. It's in Egham.
Oh yeah, there.
It's west of here.
Wait, what? Who's from Royal Holloway?
Oh, Brunel's cancelled. It's a tens game.
This is Thames again, So just like a random team just turned up?
I think they must have organised it earlier in the week.
It's just a random match.
This is the most tin pot event I've ever been a part of.
Lads. Absolutely no idea who's playing then and that.
Have you got both lined up?
Jerry's have the ball and so many numbers on that.
Is Royal Holloway
Is there not 10?
or uni or?
No, they're borrowing.
Is there? Oh, so they don't even have 10.
No, don't think so. So a couple of St Mary's players, I think, have
1, 2,
joined Brunel's in white t-shirts by the
7, 8, 9.
looks of things. The referee's called them
1, 2, 3, 4.
towards
It
the
looks like
centre
they've got 9
circle.
players.
They've got 9 players on Royal Holloway,
And
at least 2 of which,
3 of them are St Mary's.
possibly 4. 2 white t-shirts, 2
wait,
black
no.
t-shirts
I
over
thought
there.
that was the ref. But
Oh, so you haven't counted one.
yeah, so
there are 10.
There's 4 St Mary's players on the Royal Holloway team.
Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us here on the Sports Gazette. A slight change of format as we informed you a couple of minutes ago. Brunel's women's team had to drop out of this fixture, so it's now kindly been filled, that slot, by Royal Holloway, although they could only rustle 6 players together at this late stage. So they've borrowed 4 players from St Mary's. Alex Reed, thank you for joining me. We've got no idea what to expect here, really. We're just going to enjoy a fun game of rugby, hopefully.
No, it should be good vibes. It's the same sort of vibe as the day, I think. It's nice that St Mary's have given Royal Holloway a few of their players, and it's nice that they've managed to get the game off. Hopefully it should be some good running rugby. The conditions don't look like they're suiting it, but hopefully they play the width.
Yeah, I hope so. And hopefully it's a slightly better tempered game than the men's game that was a little bit earlier. I can't remember how many yellow cards there were in total in the end. Did you manage to...
I think it was 3 in the end.
Oh, it was only 3?
Yeah, only the 3. Was it 4?
I thought I had thought it was 4, yeah. Producer Connor there. Thank you, Connor, for your
that was
logistical...
There was that pretty dirty hit at the end by one of the Brunel players, which wasn't great.
There was, yeah. So we're underway here. St Mary's have kicked off. Potential knock-on there by Royal Holloway, but the referee is happy to let the game flow and is awarded a penalty early on to St Mary's, I think, for holding on to the ball after the tackle.
Yeah, it's a good turnover that from St Mary's, very good turnover, and now they're going to kick to the corner.
Going to aim to kick for touch. It'll be a St Mary's line out just inside there, the Royal Holloway 22. So an opportunity here early doors for St Mary's. Simmies, the home team this afternoon, to get some points on the board, apply a little bit of pressure at least to Royal Holloway's back line, slightly makeshift back line.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see St Mary's standing a bit wider here. They're quite narrow in attack, and
their widest player is only as far
post,
left as the post. You're right.
You'd want him at least on the 15 on the other side of the pitch. They're adjusting now, but yeah, I'd quite like them to see him play wide here.
So a 4-person line out. St Mary's to play the ball into the pitch. St Mary's win it. Driving maul by St Mary's, and the referee is unhappy with something there. I think is St Mary's think they've scored a try, but they haven't heard the whistle.
Accidental offside there at the line out, so it will be a scrum to Royal Holloway there.
Yes, it will. How many people, sorry, are in scrums in
Yeah, so
sevens, Alex Reed?
it's 5 forwards and 5 backs in tens. So, and they are contested. So the scrums are sometimes carnage because you have to get, if you're the scrum half, you have to get the ball in and whip round the back really, really quickly.
Yeah.
So this will be an interesting first scrum. It looks like 2 of the St Mary's players are lining up in the row for Royal Holloway as well.
Yeah, and Royal Holloway really don't want to lose the ball here. They're well inside their own 22 and immediately find themselves on the back foot if they aren't able to clear their lines fairly quickly. I did think they were possibly going to look to kick it, but I'm not sure about that now. Royal Holloway there, I think, wanted an offside, but it's not going to happen. Referee says advantage to St Mary's for a knock-on. St Mary's win the ball back at the breakdown as well, and they're going to score a try here. They've got past the line, underneath the posts. And that's 5 points on the board for St Mary's, their number 21. I haven't got who that is down on my team sheet, unfortunately. St Mary's number 21, I've only got 1 to 15.
Yeah, there's a smattering of shirts, so I won't blame you for that one, Alex. It was a great carry from the fly half, straight off the back of a ruck. And yeah, no, there was very little in the way of defensive organisation for the Royal Holloway, as we can expect, seeing as they have never played together before, And now they're setting up for the conversion.
Conversion more or less right between the posts, going to be taken from 15 yards out or so. We did say just before that line out this was exactly where Royal Holloway didn't want to concede possession to their opponents. They were deep inside their own 22, and unfortunately for them that very much rang true. After advantage from a knock-on, and I think it's good between the sticks as well. So that's 7-0 to St Mary's.
Did he put his hand up there?
Couple of, yes he did, yeah.
No, he did.
The referee did signal for a conversion there. We played 3 or 4 minutes now of this women's rugby union match between St Mary's and a slightly makeshift Royal Holloway team. Thank you for joining us here on the Sports Gazette. St Mary's now find themselves 7-0 to the good, with Royal Holloway ready to kick off. Their number 6, Anna Doyle, kicks the ball high into the air. It's dropped by the recipient St Mary's player, but the ball went backwards and the referee says play on. Brilliant carry from St Mary's there, riding a couple of tackles. There's an overload here on the left wing if they can work it out to them. They have managed to do that. She's just about stayed in touch there, I think. But the pass then was forward and the referee says advantage to Royal Holloway, and in fact he may have given a line out to Royal Holloway there. I can't quite make out what the decision was, but the pass from the tackle definitely went forwards, and actually the tackle may have led her to be out of touch before she let go of the ball.
Yeah, no, it was forward pass there. It was a brilliant carry off the kick-off, and then an absolutely amazing fend and offload as well.
Yeah.
They got away down the left-hand wing, St Mary's, and they unfortunately just passed the ball forward. They made about, 40 metres just in one phase, which is really, really good from them. That's a sort of running rugby we like to see in tens.
Really smart, quick hands. It was actually just out of touch before she played the ball forward, so it was a line out to Royal Holloway, but they've since lost the ball. Breakdown that St Mary's will try and work out quickly. They do so. They've got players over on the left wing as well, if they can work it out. They can't this time, unfortunately. Nice interception there, but it was knocked on in doing so from Royal Holloway. Still St Mary's applying the pressure, trying to drive at the Royal Holloway back line. The ball pinging around in the air there, but St Mary's have got it back again. Overload on the left wing. Can they touch down here once more? Royal Holloway desperately trying to hold them up, but it's another try for St Mary's. Squeezed in into the left-hand corner. Nice work there again, Alex Reed.
Yeah, really, really good fend from the ball carrier there. Shrugged off 2 tacklers, which you don't see a lot,
really did,
she absolutely smashed through to opposing players and gone in at the corner. Great strength from the ball carrier there.
It really was. Now a real test of St Mary's fly half's kicking abilities here. She's right squeezed up on the left touch line.
Yeah, it's a tough kick this, especially in the wind. It's a bit blustery down here in Twickenham
today.
There
is a little bit of wind. It's as much as anything, I think it's the angle here that could be the problem for her, although it does suit a right footer being so close to the touch line. She's lined up fairly confidently either way. She's kicked it. She's certainly got her distance right there, but her line was some way off. She very slightly shanked it.
Yeah, it was a good strike actually. It got it was pretty close, but unfortunately it just dropped a little bit wide. But yeah, great start from St Mary's and some good running rugby from the 10s game, which is what we want to see.
It is indeed. So St Mary's find themselves 12 points to the good, 12 points to nil here with Anna Doyle kicking off for Royal Holloway once more. Slightly makeshift Royal Holloway side. The kick isn't overly good, only goes 10 or 12 metres or so. St Mary's with the ball again.
Yeah, just
engaged in a tackle.
Sorry, Alex. Just to break down the technique off the kick-off there. Didn't really strike the ball as early as she would have liked, but St Mary's are away here down the blind side.
They are away on the left wing, although knocked on in the tackle, and it's advantage to Royal Holloway. Tackle there, though, by St Mary's, just trying to halt the progress that Royal Holloway were threatening to make down their right wing. Another tackle, and I think the referee is going to give a line out here to St Mary's.
Yeah, there was a gap there down the blind side,
There
but
was.
she just couldn't capitalise off the pick and go. Maybe should have called another player out there to get an offload away.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the ref giving?
Referee's called something back, though. It's a scrum to Royal Holloway on the 10-metre line, just inside their own half.
Yeah, there was a knock-on in the build-up, and so yeah, it'll be a scrum to Royal Holloway.
Royal Holloway with an opportunity to find some territory here. They're just narrowly inside their own half. They've barely been out of their own half in this match so far, but an opportunity here to get the ball in hand and possibly test St Mary's back line.
Yeah, I'd quite like to see a kick here from Royal Holloway, just to try and get the ball down the other end of the field.
They're not going to do that, though. They're going to charge down the right wing. They've actually gone for a little chip over the top in the end. I'm not sure if that went immediately out of play.
I think it bounced first.
About bounced first.
I'm not sure about that decision personally. If you've got a scrum that wide going down the blind side there, you're never really going to get anywhere. So they've got a line out St Mary's on the 10-metre line in their own half, but I think Royal Holloway probably could have got a little bit more out of that if they played the open side for me.
Yeah, I think they'll count that as an opportunity missed to get the ball in hand and test St Mary's defence, but as you say, nonetheless, a line out to St Mary's on the 10-metre line. Just about made the front player there, I think, but the referee said an advantage, I think, to Royal Holloway, possibly for a knock-on. Royal Holloway have got the ball in their hand, though. Slightly untidy in the ruck at the moment. And the referee, I think he's blown his whistle once again here, and he's given a scrum possibly to Royal Holloway for an infraction I just couldn't quite make out here. Just hands in the ruck.
Just a little knock on at the line out there. St Mary's tried to hit the front player, but she knocked it on, and then now it's a scrum right on the 5-metre line on the right-hand wing to Royal Holloway.
So Royal Holloway are starting to make a little bit of territory here. They've slowly been squeezing up 5 or 10 metres at a time. The ball is out of the ruck. They've gone down the blind side again, though, running into traffic there. Emma Doyle with the ball in hand. They've retained possession, though, at the breakdown. Big tackle there, though, from St Mary's, and there's another ruck. And St Mary's, I think, are going to turn this ball over here. They are. But they have conceded a penalty in the process, hands in the ruck, I think, Alex Reed.
It was just off the feet there. The St Mary's players dived over the ruck rather than supporting their own body weight. It looked like a good turnover for me, but the refs just adjudged it to be off the feet. It was a good kick.
That is a decent kick there from Emma Doyle. And the Royal Holloway trajectory towards their opponent's try line continues.
Yeah, line out on the 5-metre line.
Line out on the 5-metre line. That's
really, really good kick there. Now, yeah, I mean, Royal Holloway have to capitalise here. They have to get more width in their attack. They've gone down the blind side a couple of times and it's worked, but I think they need to try and score in the other corner.
They've been very insistent on running the ball down the blind side, but they haven't got the opportunity to do that now because St Mary's have turned the ball over. Don't want to lose possession here. Referee says play on. Ball carrier for St Mary's is brought to ground. Still got the ball though, Simmies, and they have an opportunity to spread the ball wide, which they turn down. There's a breakdown on the 22. Royal Holloway unable to turn the ball over. St Mary's continue their charge up the field. A slightly untidy ruck once more, and I think we're going to have another one in a second, although there was a smart offload there from St Mary's. The kick was blocked.
Yeah, oh, they're in down the...
They could be in down the left wing, but they've unfortunately fumbled the pass, and it'll be a line out to Royal Holloway, unless the referee saw an infraction before that, which I don't think he did.
Yeah, there's just a little bit the lack of communication there. It looked like they had the width on St Mary's, but they didn't manage to get the ball down the line until Royal Holloway had already adjusted. So now it'll be a line out to Royal Holloway. They need to get the drills right at this line out, because they had the opportunity to convert at the 5 metre line there, but they just seem to rush it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just lack of organisation. Again, it's what you would expect from a team that's been shut together in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd quite like to see a score out of them.
Yeah, just some of the decision making has just been very slightly questionable so far, but they are ready to go. Five against five in the line out. It's going to come in from Royal Holloway. Goes to the first player. She's held up. Potential more there, but the ball's gone to ground. Rucking over. Potential knock on there by Royal Holloway, but the referee didn't give it. And now Simmies, I think, have tidied up because it all got a bit messy there. But in the process, they, I think, have infringed, and it's a penalty to Royal Holloway now. So presumably they'll tick from kick to touch here, Alex Reed.
Yeah, just offside there, St Mary's were. So Royal Holloway go to touch. It's just on the edge of the 22, and they found touch. I think just 10 metres away from the try line. So good opportunity here for Royal Holloway. They need to, as I say, just get a little bit more efficient at the line out here. They managed to use that ball quite well, hitting the first player, but maybe try and chuck a player up in the air and hit them at the top of their lift, I think.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is to try and spread the ball to the right as quickly as they can, because there's so much space. I mean, we can see it must be almost 50 square metres on the right wing. Yeah. If they can work the ball quickly out to their right winger, then they've got an opportunity. The ball is in play, held up though by St Mary's. Still Royal Holloway with possession. Another ruck with Royal Holloway drawing 3 or 4 players. Can't get the tackle in here quite, St Mary's. Referee says play on. No hands in the ruck so far. Still Royal Holloway trying to turn the screw. They've dropped the ball though. Referee didn't see anything wrong with it. Little chip over the top. Could be something on here if Royal Holloway can get to the end of it, but it's touched down behind her own try line by a recovering St Mary's fullback. I think that was Alex Reed. There's another opportunity missed there really, because slightly better hands out of the ruck and they'd have been away.
They did a really good job of drawing St Mary's defenders in there, a few pick and goes, and it was on down the right hand side, but they just didn't manage to get the ball out. When the first receiver actually caught it, she drifted a bit and it made the pass a little bit more difficult to take for her inside centre. So it's a goal line dropout and it's just dropped inside the 10 metre line.
Yeah. A couple of substitutions here for Royal Holloway have just been made. They've got the ball in their hand again after that kick from the try line, and they've won a penalty for their trouble so far. You have to say Royal Holloway started very slowly, Alex, but they've really grown into the game. They seem to have hit their stride a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a tough situation for them. They've probably found out about the game pretty recently. Oh, they're through the line here.
They've broken the line, brought down though, and still got possession. Quick hands here and they could be in again. Ball drops though in the tackle. Went backwards, says the referee, so play on. Another smart tackle from St Mary's. They have got players over here on the left wing, but another firm tackle by St Mary's, and they've got an opportunity to counter-attack, or they would have done, but the referee's blown for offside, I think.
Yeah, really smart turnover there from the St Mary's player, but they were just offside in midfield earlier in the phase, so Royal Holloway will get the ball back. Probably look to tap and go. It's pretty far away from the touchline.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would you say here? I was thinking, is it worth getting 3 points on the board and just
I don't
going
know.
for touch?
You'd probably want to score a try here, I think.
They've gone for a tap and go, as you suggested. Straight underneath the posts if they can press a little bit further towards the line. Referee wants St Mary's to remain onside. There are players over on the left wing, but they've waltzed through the middle here, Royal Holloway. They could.
Really good tackle there on the line for St.
Really
Mary's.
good tackle. Held up on just on the 5 metre line here, Royal Holloway. Emma Doyle with a dart towards the try line. She's held up though as well. Still, Royal Holloway retain possession. Spreading the ball out to the right.
Yeah,
there were players over and she's gone straight for the contact there, Alex Reed.
It's just a lack of width here from Royal Holloway.
Yeah.
Oh, and St. Mary's
St. Mary's
away.
could be in here. Absolutely charging down the left wing. 2 players go in, just about get the tackle, but a smart offload. And unfortunately the momentum seems to have been taken out of that attack just a little bit. St. Mary's still with possession, though. Really
pass.
Smart hands through the middle. And if she can make it all the way here, she's going to have an absolute touchdown underneath the post. Is she going to be tackled? Heading towards the left wing. She's just about got past the try line. And that is another try for St. Mary's. Was like a knife through butter, that, Alex Reed.
Yeah, that was really, really good catch and carry from the fly-off. Just committed a defender, created the hole and popped the other St. Mary's player through the hole, and they've just gone coast to coast and scored in the corner. I thought they might have got caught at the end there, but no, they went over the try line and scored. Good effort from the Royal Holloway defender to try and get back there. Because
I think she probably had her for pace, but she just couldn't quite seem to close the gap.
No,
Quite know where the Simmies, I think was it their fullback possibly? Couldn't quite tell which way she was going to run. She was constantly just turning away from her, which just gave her a little bit too far to go.
That's a great effort from the defender. She just couldn't get there in the end. I mean, she must have made up about 10 metres.
Yeah.
So yeah, good pace from the Royal Holloway defender, but unluckily she couldn't get there and stop her scoring the try.
Another tricky kick here for St. Mary's, and they've got the line right once more. But it's just missed the post by about a foot.
Yeah, it's a good strike again. She's got a lot of class kicking off the tee here, but just a little bit wide there. Just a little bit wide. So there's a lot of tired bodies out here.
There's a lot of tired bodies out here. There's a lot of space to cover with only 10 players on the pitch.
Yeah, especially in that last phase of phase of play. Before the try. Royal Holloway had the ball in play for about 3-4 minutes, which doesn't happen a lot in rugby, and these 15s players probably won't be that used to playing 10s, so
absolutely not.
It's testing their gas tank here.
So it's 17-0 to St. Mary's here. Royal Holloway started pretty slowly, just looked like they were working their way back into the game, but they've just been hit by a pretty punishing counter-attack from St. Mary's and have conceded another try, just the one conversion, so it's 17-0. A couple more substitutions by the looks of it for either side. I think it seems pretty fair cop to me that they're rolling substitutions this afternoon, given they're only playing 10 aside.
Good kick-off there from Royal Holloway.
Much better kick-off from Royal Holloway there. St. Mary's carving through though. She's got absolute rockets in her boots, this one, and she's ridden 4-5 tackles and she's only just been brought down. She must have carried the ball 20-30 metres there.
There's a nice little goose step in there. We all enjoy a goose step in rugby union. Absolutely skinned the Royal Holloway defender, but unfortunately she's just knocked it on as the tackle was made.
As she was tackled. Very unfortunate there. So scrum to Royal Holloway. Scrummaging in this hasn't been particularly hard fought.
Yeah, the scrummaging isn't really a central piece of the sport.
No.
You see in the 15s game, it's like teams attack it to try and get penalties, this, that and the other to dominate possession, but in 10s we just want to see running rugby, so the whole point is ball in, ball out, I think.
Yeah. We were under the impression we were playing 10-minute halves, Alex Reed. I think we're playing slightly longer than that.
Yeah, it seems like it.
15 minutes or so. Smart tackle there from St. Mary's. Royal Holloway almost losing out with in the ruck. Got possession though, just outside of their own 22. Ball in hand. If they can spray the ball left again, they'd have had a couple of players over there, but elect to go for the contact, draw in a couple of defenders. Emma Doyle now with the pass out to the right wing. Really smart play there again from Royal Holloway. Ball carrier rode a couple of tackles. It's getting a bit scrappy now though. Referee says play on.
Yeah, I think as
Is
the
there
players,
a maul or a breakdown here? I can't quite
it's
see.
just a breakdown.
Just a breakdown.
As the players start
Knocked
to
on
get-
in the tackle there by St Mary's, and it'll be a scrum just outside the Royal Holloway 22, fairly deep in their own half still, but they've proved much more resilient in the later stages of this first half.
Yeah. I think as the players start to get a little bit more tired, Royal Holloway have started to come back into it.
They do look a bit fresher, don't they?
Yeah, and I mean that's surprising to me, seeing as they've sort of jumbled together a team, but they've put a good effort in here, especially in defence. They've looked at it. They've looked like they wanted to go and make hits, especially the St Mary's loanies against their own players, trying to smash their mates. It's all good fun.
Yeah. So Royal Holloway work the ball out. Rather than playing the ball out to the left, they go for a big upfield pitch which reaches the St Mary's 22. Ball carrier again with, I mentioned earlier, had rockets in her boots. She's got pace for days. She's ridden a couple of tackles again, played it inside, big kick up towards and just beyond the halfway line. The Royal Holloway ball carrier now looks to try and ride a couple of tackles, does so, is brought down now. Smart offload though. Royal Holloway number 8 draws contact this time again and wins a penalty for her trouble.
Yeah, not rolling away there at the ruck. It's quite a good turnover from... Oh, the St Mary's player really isn't happy about it, but she didn't roll away. And yeah, it would have been a good turnover, but they were impeded in the process of turning the ball over.
Big tackle there from St Mary's. There is a player out on the right wing if they can find her. Tackle though means there's another breakdown. Ball played inside. There's a lot of intent here from Royal Holloway to ride the tackles. You think they seem to sense that St Mary's legs are just getting a bit weary. Nice kick towards the left wing, just couldn't quite get there. And St Mary's have recovered possession, breakdown on the edge of their 22.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. That's a really smart kick in behind the defensive line from Royal Holloway fly off, and the winger nearly got onto it but just bobbled above her foot so she couldn't kick it over the try line. And
Royal Holloway, sorry.
Carry on.
Royal Holloway, I was going to say, they've got an advantage here. Ball was knocked on, but St Mary's have won it back from a tackle, and they have another opportunity to possibly be in here for a try. They've got 20 metres or so to go. A couple of tired Royal Holloway legs trying to chase them. The pass was just about backwards, and St Mary's are going to touch down underneath the post here, I think. They're not going to catch her. Right in the middle of the post, another really smart breakaway from St Mary's. They definitely, I said Royal Holloway looked a little bit fresher. They look a bit fresher at breakdowns, but when it comes to player for player running at pace, St Mary's just seems to have too much quality, particularly in the wide areas.
Yeah, it just popped out the ruck there, and it's a classic 10s try. They capitalised on the sort of variability of the play. They just broke down the outside, a couple of good fends. And again, good work rate from Royal Holloway defenders. Got back and made the tackle.
Every single one of them.
Yeah,
tracking back.
It was just a really good offload inside. So it was a walk-in to score this time.
And a slightly easier conversion than her last two for St Mary's kicker.
Yeah, she's taken it back quite a long way here. There's no one opposing her. She could just chip this over, but she's decided to take it all the way back.
And she does have a bit of a headwind as well.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what she does. A couple of deep breaths. And she swings her bright yellow boot at it, and she's absolutely... Oh, she's just missed it, I think.
Oh, it was a good strike. I thought it went over,
strike.
but no, the ref says no.
Referee says no try.
No,
Must have
no
just
possession.
missed the right stanchion by a foot or two. And Royal Holloway with another opportunity to try and gain some territory back as they head towards the halfway line. You can tell there's a couple of tired legs out there because this is by far and above the slowest they've done this so far.
Yeah, no,
in this game.
They've run a long way. It's hard defending for such a long time. They've not had a lot of the ball, and when they have, it's been hotly contested at the breakdown, which makes it harder to organise your attack, and it means you have to fly in and hit people that are trying to get over the ball, which is all tough work.
Absolutely. So smart kick from kick-off again from Royal Holloway. Possible opportunity here for a try though for St Mary's. Really wonderful balance running by their left winger.
Wow.
She's picked the ball up on the edge of her own 22. She's just hitting her opponent's 22 now. They're trying to chase her, but they're chasing a shadow, and she has carried from her own 22 to her opponent's try line. I think it was St Mary's number 12 that was. I think it was, is it Mia?
Mia, yeah.
Mia Eldridge.
Yeah, that was outstanding. She absolutely skinned about 4 people.
She has got so much pace.
Yeah, absolutely rapid she was. When, what was it, 80 metres? A couple of fends, a couple of good steps.
Yeah.
That's what we love to see. That's in the mood of the day, I think.
Yeah. Beautiful balance running.
And there are Royal Holloway defenders strewn across the grass,
they're all,
absolutely blowing out.
I certainly think if I'd worked as hard as them this afternoon, I think I'd be in a pretty similar state. They all look like they could do with an ice bath pretty soon.
Yeah, but they've done a really good job, I think.
Considering how late in the day they were called to the game.
Coming here with a lot of St Mary's players being loaned to them, and they would have struggled to organise in the warm-ups. Like they've put a good show out, definitely.
Mind if we join you up here, please?
Not at all. Slightly closer the kicker went that time. Alex Reed, as you pointed out last time, she was right on the edge of her 22, just narrowly missed it, but she'd have been 15, 20 metres or so out, and she's knocked that conversion in. Alex Reed, how's your maths? Have you worked out what the score is? I make it 29-0.
Yeah, I think you're right there.
I think we've had 5 tries, 2 conversions.
Yes. I think
Assuming we're
that's
going
correct.
with 5 and 2 scoring for this. Which, frankly, at this stage, who knows?
Well, I was certain, having Googled it 5 minutes before the game, that tens was 10-minute halves, but it seems like they've been playing for a lot longer than that.
Maybe we're just going to do one 20-minute half?
Yeah, maybe.
But I think even then they've probably played beyond that now. I think we've been playing for possibly at least half an hour.
Seriously tough cardio, and respect to all of the players on the pitch.
Work.
They've worked really, really hard.
The ball from the kickoff was dropped there by St Mary's, but it went backwards, still under a little bit of pressure though, because the pass out to the right wing was a slightly sloppy one. Ball carrier skips past 2 tackles though, another smart offload as well, and here goes Mia Eldridge once again. She rides another tackle. She's got players out to her left, players out to her right. She's played a smart offload there to St Mary's. I think it's their number 15, their fullback. They could be on if they spread the ball left, but they're all after a little taste of the action, and they are going to touch down once more for 34-0 right underneath the posts.
Yeah,
and that was Phoebe Embry there touching down for St Mary's.
The Royal Holloway defence just couldn't adjust there.
Yeah, they just looked tired
a really good line break. And then they just St Mary's carried straight through the middle of the ruck, and there was absolutely no chance they were going to stop that. Royal Holloway, really good from St Mary's. They've been clinical today. It might have been difficult to focus knowing that they were preparing for a 15s game, and then it got called off and they're playing 10s, but they've done a really, really good job here. They've shown that they're a professional outfit.
Absolutely. It's 34-0 to St Mary's at the moment, and an opportunity here to make that 36.
Strong headwind for the kick here.
Yeah.
Wind's picking up now. Not what you want as a kicker, but she was right under the post there, so it should make it a little bit easier.
Would you fancy be playing in the rugby union at 3 o'clock, Alex?
You mean the rugby league?
Rugby league?
Absolutely not. I do not have the body to play in rugby league. I'm not anywhere near that's enough.
And that is 36-0, and that's the referee's blowing the whistle there. Is it? I'm not sure if it's for half time or for full time.
Neither
Who knows at the moment? We were
half-time.
under the impression we were playing 10-minute halves, but no one's gone to shake anyone's hand here, so we assume there's going to be a 5-minute turnaround or so. Who stood out for you in that first half, Alex?
Mia Eldridge. Wow, outstanding. The amount of meters she made, the speed of her carry, she looks like she really wants it.
Yeah.
Running into defenders, fending off about, I think 10 players.
Yeah. In one single move, she carried the ball 80 metres, so she must have carried the ball several hundred, I think.
She was outstanding. The whole St Mary's team have been clinical today. They've been really organised around the ruck. They've been really organised around the offload, supporting their players whenever they've gone into contact. Royal Holloway will go in at half time thinking, what can we get out of it? There's definitely opportunities for points out there. I think they probably need to start
absolutely
kicking.
right, yeah.
Probably need to start kicking the ball a little bit more because that's how they're going to find the space. They just don't have the organisation to set up set plays and attack moves because they've only come together in the last day or two. So
they've been hit on the counter attack so many times as well. So that'll be something they'll be looking to shore up when they've got the ball in hand.
Yeah.
Just thinking about not leaving themselves too susceptible to a quick St Mary's counter.
There are definite positives, like their set plays. I mean, set piece. Sorry, at the line out and the scrum went pretty well. Especially the line outs, they made some really good ground hitting the first player. So there's definite positives.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'm not sure how long the halves are here. Not sure how long half time is. But we are it's West London Varsity this afternoon. Any other sports you're looking forward to seeing, Alex Reed?
The rugby league will be really good. It looks like St Mary's have got a very good team this year, so that'll be an interesting watch, I think. And the basketball's going on at the moment, so I'm excited to see the score there because the Sports Gazette's Oliver Laurie is playing in that.
Yes. One of our editors, Oliver Laurie, is a keen basketball. Do you call it basketball players? Basketballer?
Yeah, players.
What do I call
players.
it? Yeah, that goes to show how much I watch American sports. But wishing him good luck. I'm looking forward to seeing the futsal later. It's a sport that we don't really take particularly seriously here. But if you look in particularly sort of the Iberian Peninsula, if you look at South America and you look at Spain and Portugal, people play futsal on such a regular basis, and I suppose it would make sense if we played it more in this country to me, because obviously with rain and grass not mixing particularly well, and given that we have particularly rain in such abundance, we've played futsal together a couple of times.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I quite like it. Being a particularly average football player, it makes it a little bit easier on your first touch because it's a very heavy ball.
It's a bit more forgiving.
Yeah, a little bit more forgiving. So
Hurts a lot more to shoot though.
Oh, and to be in
Balls
goal.
are very heavy.
And to be in
goal.
Especially with my right hand being half metal, it's not particularly safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not particularly safe doing shorthand either for you.
No. But I'll fail a couple more exams and I might pass one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. As we mentioned Ollie Laurie there, I did say that if he dunked, that I'd buy him a beer later after Varsity. So hopefully.
Well, given that you're not watching him play, I suspect he's going to come back and tell you he made 5 dunks this afternoon. You know him 5 pints.
Well, I think that the deal was just for one.
Oh,
the deal was just for one.
Okay.
But, yeah. We are about to get underway in the second half.
It looks like it. Royal Holloway making their way to the other side of the pitch, so we're going to be able to see St Mary's numbers this half, which might make player recognition, player identification a little bit easier for us. You'll have to forgive us for referring to pretty much every player in that half as the ball carrier. Appreciate that's not first name ball, second name carrier. It's just unfortunately we haven't got a full list of lineups here.
Yeah, and Royal Holloway going into a headwind this half, so it might make the
kick-offs
a little bit more difficult and making the run-in a little bit more difficult. Luckily, they're a bit lower than we are in the viewing stanchion.
Yes.
But yeah, the kicks might be a bit difficult now because the wind is really picking up.
Our commentary actually said things are starting to. What's the word I'm looking for? It's getting a bit blustery up here. Our sheets of paper are strewn all over the place. My quite snazzy binoculars are in danger of rocking over, and as I told Alex earlier, if they do knock over, I'll be in an extremely bad mood with him, regardless of whether or not it's his fault. But from the kickoff, Royal Holloway played the ball up to St Mary's, and St Mary's have travelled 10 or 15 metres or so with the ball. A breakdown and then some smart hands means that St Mary's could actually be in here again. Wonderful play on the left wing. There's a lovely offload on the left.
Forward.
Referee says the pass was forwards, and it's a scrum, therefore, we think, to Royal Holloway.
Yeah, there's just a lot of tackles with arms at the moment. They need to a little bit more shoulder connection. I'd like a little bit more head on bums is what the coaching tips were when we were kids. There's just the tackling with arms, and there's always going to be a line break there if you're able to get a fend away for St Mary's. So Royal Holloway just needs to tighten up a little bit in their tackling technique, but as they get more tired, that'll become more and more difficult. But yeah, it's the Royal Holloway scrum on just
outside their own 22. There was a fleeting injury concern there, I think, for St Mary's, but all players are back on their feet. And again, this was more or less the exact same position in the first half, where Royal Holloway, we said, really didn't want to lose possession. They did, and St Mary's immediately punished them with a try. So it's perhaps a little bit unsurprising to see some fresh legs brought on to bolster the Royal Holloway defensive lines here.
Yeah, I think it's another St Mary's player that's come on to play for Royal Holloway, which is always nice to see. It's good at least two unis have a good relationship with each other.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can spread the ball wide it.
Hopefully they can. The ball from the scrum half wasn't fantastic though. Royal Holloway elect to kick the ball long. Probably was the right decision in the end, but unfortunately for them, Mia Eldridge is on the end of the ball. She's ridden one tackle. She looks to offload it inside to the 10-metre line. Still got the ball in hand here, St Mary's. The tackle there was a fairly good one. Breakdown. Mia Eldridge got the ball again. St Mary's could be cutting through here, and then they've touched down for another try. So that's 41-0 now.
Yeah, it's just a breakdown in communication, defence there. I mean, St Mary's are moving the ball so fast, it's difficult for Royal Holloway to organise, but that was a nice carry in the tight there to go over. I'm not sure who scored that. Can you see, Alex?
I'm afraid I can't.
Well,
Alex.
Unlucky. But yeah, the St Mary's kicker will have a tailwind here, so it should be a little bit easier. It's just inside the 15-metre line, it looks, from the referee's signalling. So it's not that wide, but it's still not the easiest kick in the world.
No, although a much harder kick than this in the first half she got pretty close with. So, like you say, with a bit of wind in her sails.
Yeah, it's the right side for a right-footed kicker. Yeah. She just needs to adjust her sights a little bit further than the right-hand post, I'd say. When I was getting taught to goal kick, you'd aim it at the outside post and then hook it back in, but it's going to blow. The ball's going to blow back into the post as well with that wind. Yeah, and she's just missed it wide.
She's just not quite adjusted
just to the left, yeah. You see that a lot when it's this windy. It just drags.
It got taken more by the wind than she was anticipating.
Yeah. But good play for St Mary's to go coast to coast again. It's really good fun watching this with the 10s because there's just points scoring all the time.
So much space to play into. Try scorer, by the way, was Sophie Roberts.
There you go then.
That one there. So well done, Sophie. It was carved out once again though by Mia Eldridge. I think so far, I appreciate we've got a bit of time left to go, but I think someone else in this game would have to do something pretty special to be crowned player of the match.
Yeah, I think so. Mia. It looks like there's another St Mary's player that's come on to play for Royal Holloway.
Emma Doyle
kick-off
with a slightly flat kick. Sophie Roberts it is who picks it up. Rides a couple of tackles, carries the ball really well. She's got players outside her, slightly behind her intended target there, and once more again from St Mary's, but they could be in for another try here.
That's really good.
And they've ridden a couple of tackles. 46-0 to St Mary's.
Yeah, the thing I like about that is just the little skills that you see in rugby. The little straight in from, I think it was Sophie Roberts who drew the 2-on-1 there. It was really, really nice because you could rush that and give the pass too early and then the defender has the opportunity to make that tackle, but there was no hope for the defender there because they were always going to be down the outside because Sophie Roberts straightened up and committed that defender. Yeah, really nice.
Yeah. Excellent analysis, by the way.
Thank you.
Excellent. So another opportunity for St Mary's to notch another 2 points on the board. Sophie Roberts is going to take this kick this time. She's got a bit of wind behind her. She's not taken one yet this game. But nonetheless, she's going to have a go at this. Bit of a flat kick. Referee says it's good though. Just squeezed it over the crossbar.
Yeah, that's a technique that a lot of pros use there, keeping it low and driving it through the air, because if you kick it higher, it means that the wind takes it more, but she kept it low and drilled it over the post. Nice that.
Yeah, well played, Sophie. It's been a good couple of minutes for her. try a few minutes ago and now a conversion.
I think for Royal Holloway here, they just have to try and calm down, get the drills right, and then try and get as much out of the game as they can, because I think one of the problems with that kick-off there is that when you kick it that low, it gives you no opportunity to go and defend it, because it gets to the players so quickly. You want to get a little bit more hang time on it, get your drop right, get your kick right, and set up in defence.
Yeah, so Emma Doyle with a kick again for Royal Holloway. The last kick she took was very slightly suspect. She just caught the ball a little bit later than she'd have wanted to. Caught it quite late there again though, nice and clean contact, mind you.
Yeah, it's better there, much better.
Much better. St Mary's with the ball in hand, tackled by Royal Holloway, and the ball's come out of the ruck, and Mia Eldridge is on the charge once again. She's brought down, took 2 players to get her down there though, and a possible maul forming here, Alex Reed. Oh, we've gone to ground.
Yeah, it's gone to ground. It's the tackle there, but she wasn't held. Interesting call from the referee. I would have called that out, but play on.
So on we play. Ball worked out to the St Mary's right. Ball carrier charges past a couple of tackles. She could be in here if she can keep her momentum up. She's headed straight towards the post. They haven't been able to hold her up, and it's another St Mary's try. 53 we made that, because the last try was converted to 48-0, and it's now 53-0 to St Mary's.
Yeah, really good really good technique in the carry. She just managed to get a little fend in late, which if you're a dropping tackler, if you can get that little fend in, then it means they just slip off you. Really nice, really good technique. And she went straight under the post there, so it should be an easy conversion.
This should be another 2 points. 53-0 currently. You'd hope it'd be 55 without too much difficulty. It's going to be Sophie Burns again.
Royal Holloway defenders under the post look pretty dejected here, and you can understand why. It's been a tough day for them, but I think they've put a lot of effort in. They all look really knackered, and they're probably, well, certainly very tired. I know I would be. Understandably.
Another quite smart kick from Sophie Roberts.
Oh, that's nice.
Fairly low over the post. One of her Royal Holloway opponents gives her a big hug and a congratulations for notching another 2 points for her side.
And one of the things that Royal Holloway have difficulty with is they don't really have the opportunity to make substitutions, whereas not the same way. Rolling people in, rolling people out, which keeps them fresh and keeps them fresh in defence as well. Oh, it's windy.
It is, yeah. It absolutely is windy up in our commentary gantry here at St Mary's University. It was scheduled to rain today, Alex Reed. We've only had a bit of drizzle, so we can be thankful for that at least.
It's overcast, and luckily it's not been pouring it down. It rained a bit in the men's game, but in the women's game it's managed to keep dry.
Possible knock on there by St Mary's. Referee says it went backwards, so from the kick-off, St Mary's have got the ball in their hands as well, and they've gone for a kick upfield.
It's an interesting call that, because they've been making meters everywhere, so I don't really understand that call, and just a high tackle there. Oh, and they've been marched back because of chatting to the referee.
Another 10 metres.
Not in the mood of the day. That really not in rugby values.
Smartly collected there by Ailva Sampson, and
good kick.
Emma Doyle has kicked the ball quite smartly out of touch as well. So it'll be a Royal Holloway line out just inside the St Mary's 22. Bit of conferring among the Royal Holloway players, just trying to work out what they're going to do with this line out. I mean, it'd be great for them if they get a score here.
Yeah. The St Mary's fans have broken the megaphone out again, which they had in the men's game.
There was some piping hot chat going on that microphone.
Oh yeah, it was really creative and entertaining.
We like to drink in the morning and the evening, I'm informed, at St Mary's.
There's a lot of that in
legendary stuff. Stuff, yeah. Oh, there's tons of it everywhere. So a line out for Royal Holloway hits the first player there. Number 8 for Brunel is Amelia Saturn.
Good good strip there from St Mary's.
Very smart strip of play.
Straight in.
St Mary's number 6, Holly Aylett, has just lost out on the ball. She's had that ripped off her. Royal Holloway could be in here. Took 3 or 4 players of St Mary's defence to bring the ball carrier down there. Still got possession. I think they might even have an advantage from the referee for offside. Looked like a slightly high tackle there by St Mary's. Nonetheless, Royal Holloway still have possession deep in the St Mary's 22. This is certainly the most threatening they've looked all game. They slowly edged their way towards the try line in the first half, but were hit with a pretty devastating counter-attack by St Mary's. But this looks like a much more constructive attack. Again, instead of electing to play the ball out wide, though, they've gone for contact, and St Mary's therefore have won the ball back off them, and they could be on for another searing counter-attack here. Royal Holloway defenders have just about caught up with her though, but they haven't managed to bring her down. She's ridden 2 or 3 attempts at a tackle there, and she's finally brought down on the edge of her 22. She travelled another 50 metres or so there herself. Referee says knock on in the tackle.
That's outstanding. Really good mindset there from Royal Holloway, to be honest, because obviously they're quite heavily behind, but look, they're still up for it. They still want to fight in.
Desperately digging in to not concede another try.
Really good. Really good to see. And yeah, she got fended off a couple of times. It kept on going back at the attacker, which is nice.
Very dogged defending.
There's a lot of tired bodies out there.
And a good ambitious play from St Mary's there as well. You know, at 50 odd points up, there was plenty of scope there to just perhaps kick the ball long and give the ball back to Royal Holloway, but they themselves were keen to get another try on the board. Royal Holloway were just as keen to try and prevent that from happening. We have got an injury here to a St Mary's player, I think, so we're just going to be held up for a minute or two while that is sorted out. There's a player on the ground.
Oh, and someone's just done a cartwheel in the background. It's good
Someone's
to see
done a cartwheel, very smart.
Good to see that they've still got good vibes.
Still got good vibes.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, as we all know, on West London Varsity 2023.
Yeah, we don't like to see all of the pushing and shoving that was going on in the men's game.
It did get a little bit much, and particularly you have to say, given that the game was pretty much out of sight, it was all just a little bit unnecessary, wasn't it?
Yeah, and there was a few dirty shots in there. I think the last Brunel player that got yellow carded really didn't need to do it.
It was an American football style hit just through the back of someone, wasn't it?
Not really on clear card. So it's nice to see that these two teams have played it in the spirit of the game. Absolutely.
In the spirit of rugby. People talk about this all the time, Alex Reed. What does that mean to you?
I don't know, just good values, trying to play with respect for your opposition, but being a good competitor as well. Yeah. Which both of these sides have done. They've really both been up for it. All of the play's been fair. No one's been too bitey, which it might be high emotions for a varsity game, but it's not really played out like that, which is nice.
Not at all. Here's Mia Eldridge. She's dropped the ball there. She's now on the side of Royal Holloway, so she's swapped her shirt to a white one. She's joined her opponents, rolling subs such as they are here. And Royal Holloway have got another opportunity to get down the length of the pitch. Sliding away from 2 or 3 tackles there, Royal Holloway, and they're going to get 5 points on the board here, I think. There is a St Mary's defender in pursuit, but not going to catch her. And she touches down for Royal Holloway, straight underneath the posts. The very kind of devastating counter-attack we were talking about St Mary's being so successful at in the first half in particular, Alex Reed. Royal Holloway have just given St Mary's a taste of their own medicine.
Well, look, in tens, if you break the line, there's not ever going to be anyone in behind there.
And then it's just about pace.
Yeah, you just streaked away from the other defenders, and good effort from that one St Mary's player to try and get back there, but she was never going to get caught. No, and she's gone straight under the sticks.
So we think it's 58-5.
Yes.
Now, I think.
It does. Oh, someone is stepping off the conversion after. They just had to get a tee from the
Emma
sideline.
Doyle has just, she had to go get her own tee.
That's never good. Do a bit of cardio before you go take a big kick.
Just really get the lactic acid building up in those legs.
Because it takes away from the time now that she's got to do it, because there's less time in tens to kick the ball. But I think the ref might be a little bit lenient.
Yeah, I think he's going to let them go here. 2 cartwheels in the middle of the pitch. St Mary's are not going to try and charge this conversion down. They're going to let Emma Doyle step up to it unopposed. She kicks it well and true, and she picks up another 2 points for her side.
Yep. Anyone going to get the ball? No?
No one's gone to get the ball yet either, though. I think there's a couple of questions from the players to the referee about how long's left.
Yeah.
If I could hear what he was saying,
Yeah, unfortunately we don't
I'd
have...
let you know. None of us have got a clue. That's possibly next year. Possibly next year I think we'll have the ref mic'd up. Don't think anyone's quite realised yet they haven't got a ball.
Nope.
So the referee's headed towards the halfway line, waiting for St Mary's to tee off.
Yes. That was just a big shout of
big cries
"Where's the ball?"
of "get the ball."
It's all well and good having a megaphone,
And we've
but
got
if you don't
a-
have someone to go and get the ball, then you can't play rugby.
We have got a hero though, thankfully, underneath the Harlequins tent.
Yeah, nice Harlequins selling stuff here. Are they selling stuff? Or?
They're flogging something, are they?
I'm not sure. There seems to be
Are they
shirts.
signed shirts?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure.
I'm going to get one later and get you to sign it, if that's all right
Okay,
with you.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, nice kick-off.
So really smart kick-off from St Mary's.
Tough take.
Royal Holloway, the ball went backwards in the drop. There are players over here for Royal Holloway on the left wing. They can't quite work the ball out to the left-hand side.
Look,
They're
that was a
brought
hint of a
down.
knock on there, but the ref's not giving it.
Referee hasn't seen anything, says play on. Royal Holloway, big tackle
What
there
a
from
shot
St
that
Mary's.
is.
Ball went backwards in the tackle. Emma Doyle with a big kick towards
That was nice.
her right wing, covering defence there, St Mary's. It's
They kicked it back.
They've
into
kicked
this
it
space
back.
that they've
Holly
left, which is
Aylett
nice.
has
Ooh,
kicked it back, and it's
could be a 50-22.
could be a really
Oh,
smart.
the ball's just held up and didn't go out.
Not quite. So Royal Holloway deep in their own territory, aim to kick the ball forwards again.
Offside.
Knocked on in the
Offside there.
in the
'cause,
receipts and offside.
Yeah, the Royal Holloway kicked the ball back to St Mary's, and St Mary's fumbled it, but a Royal Holloway player then played the ball, and they hadn't retreated back past the mark. They weren't played onside, so it's offside to St Mary's and a penalty.
Penalty to them. We think they're probably going to go for touch here. You'd think it's
Yeah. They might.
Holly
Yeah,
Aylett
they
with
are.
the ball in her hand at the moment, just conferring
Oh,
with
they're
the
tapping it, I
teammates. I think
think.
they're going to little tap and go, try and get another 7 points on the board, try and break the 60-point barrier, which they're currently 2 points off. So a try here would certainly do that. Nice little carry there from Rose Fisher. She's brought down in the tackle. Smart offload though again. St Mary's on the press once more, just trying to keep applying that pressure. Referee says knock on in the tackle, and it'll be a scrum to Royal Holloway, just on the edge of their 5-metre line, Alex Reed.
Yeah, no, it was a good little carry, but unfortunately they've knocked it on, and it's a difficult space for Royal Holloway to get out here. They probably won't want too much to happen at the scrum. Maybe if St Mary's attack, they could turn the ball over, but they're realistically probably going to have to kick it.
If I was
They've
them,
struggled
I'd be
moving
giving the
wide.
ball to Mia Eldridge here.
I mean, so would I.
She's on the pitch. I suppose if you maybe try and kick the ball far enough for her to be able to
Yeah,
chase
she
it.
seems to be a good streak faster than pretty much everyone else on the pitch, which is very impressive. But yeah, there is a player in the backfield here for St Mary's, so maybe they won't kick. They're very narrow here at Royal Holloway, which is not really what you want.
It's not really necessarily what you want, but it does point to the fact that maybe they are. I thought they are going to kick it now. Not the best of kicks. It's only gone as far as just beyond the 22. St Mary's have got possession. Nice tackle
Really
there
good
from
tackle.
Mia Eldridge. Really important to get the ball there. She has rolled away from it. St Mary's with a.
What's the ref giving
St
it?
Mary's, I think, have committed an infringement here. Is it called for a scrum? Knock on in the tackle, I think.
I see. Yeah, no, good
Very
tackle.
important tackle.
There's one-on-one, so it's difficult for the defender there because the attacker can
On the
jig
back
left,
foot,
left and right, but that was a good tackle.
So we've had a couple of players swap sides here.
Again, I think Royal Holloway have to play the width here. They've not done it enough during the game, but St Mary's don't look to have adjusted if they play the ball quickly. There's an overlap on the right-hand side.
It's a really
left-hand
smart
side
overlap
for
on the Royal Holloway left. Yeah, the
Oh,
St Mary's
and
right.
the
They've
other
gone
way.
down the blind side. Emma Doyle has tried to break the line, hasn't been able to do so. Nonetheless, opportunity for Royal Holloway to keep the ball. knocked on there, I think, although the referee says there was an offside beforehand, so it's advantage to Royal Holloway as it stands. He's blown up. Not happy with that. It's given a penalty, and Emma Doyle is going to do a little tap and go here, and Royal Holloway going to try and work the ball for a try down the left. Smart riding of the tackle there by the ball carrier. She's going to head towards the post, unopposed here, and she's going to touch down again for Royal Holloway. So Royal Holloway, 12 points on the board now, 2 quite smart tries. Again, from similar positions on the pitch, just cut through St Mary's, travelled 30 metres or so and touched down under the post.
They've just sped the play up a little bit. I think they've been a bit slow when they've got the penalties. They've been trying to go for the line-outs, obviously, which have gone okay, but if they just tapped and went, then maybe they would have added a few more points on the board. They just exploited that overlap on the left-hand wing, and a good fend meant that they went straight under the post.
So we think now this is 58-12 to St Mary's.
Yeah.
And this will be for 58-14.
Yeah.
It's going to be another kick under the post, unopposed for Emma Doyle.
And hopefully there is someone to go and get the ball this time. It looks like someone's standing there.
Looks like there's a gentleman here ready to give the ball back to St Mary's for when they tee back off again after this. Emma Doyle steps up, toe punts a little bit, hits the post. Clatters it against the stanchion.
That's unlucky.
An opportunity missed to get 2 points on the board, but doesn't perhaps matter in the grand scheme of things here with the score being so high.
You don't see it clatter in the post like that a lot. It's
you
pretty
don't.
impressive. It was a good strike, but absolutely smacked off the face, which is pretty difficult to do. So fair play.
Did just fly off her toe a little bit.
Yeah. She didn't strike through the ball. She struck across it, which.
But like you said earlier, you want that kick to be nice and flat.
Yeah.
So it doesn't get caught in the wind too much, and she perhaps, in a bid to try and do that, just hit it a little bit too flatly. Nonetheless, St Mary's are got us back underway here. Ball collected by Royal Holloway. Well defended by St Mary's, and it's been a really smart turnover here. The ball carrier's taken 3 or 4 players out of the game. St Mary's, I think, are going to touch down here as well. They've carved out another opportunity for themselves. Defenders aren't going to get there, and St Mary's do touch down once more and finally break that 60-point barrier that they've been threatening to, frankly, break for 10 or 15 minutes or so. Were it not for some smart counter-attacking moves from Royal Holloway, they'd have probably already done so. But that makes it 63 points to 12 in St Mary's favour against Royal Holloway.
Yeah, it was a really smart turnover there. Good body position, snapped onto the ball and snapped it off the floor, and then just played her teammate in. It's just to the right of the post because there was a tracking back defender from Royal Holloway. They'd done well all game, but yeah, there was no way to defend that. St Mary's are too quick there in attack.
They certainly were. I think this is going to be Holly Aylett to try and convert this one. She's gone quite far. She's headed quite far back again.
Interesting ball angle as well. She's actually angled it back to herself, which is what you used to see in rugby league where they'd smack it really high. So I think she might be hoping it gets taken with the wind, but I'm not sure about this.
She kicks it reasonably well. She just didn't quite get the line right that time.
No.
The distance was more or less there, but like you said, the ball absolutely flew straight up in the air. Got great height on the kick, just not quite the right angle of trajectory. And the score therefore stays 63 points to St Mary's.
I have to be honest, Alex, I've got absolutely no idea how long these halves are.
I mean, we've been talking now for what feels like a day and a half. I've got absolutely no idea. It's made for tremendous fun, though.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine how gassed these players are because they've been running up and down the field.
I'm exhausted watching them.
Yeah, they must have done about 5k at least.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. They've been playing for well over an hour now. And like we've said, we've said it several times, but the game has really been played in the right spirit. Ball knocked on by St Mary's from the tee off. Royal Holloway with the advantage here. Breakdown on the edge of the St Mary's 22. Royal Holloway, instead of electing to play the ball, go for contact. Slow ball out from the ruck, and actually St Mary's have turned it over here and they've got an opportunity to hit Royal Holloway on the counter attack. There's 2 players out to the left here, St Mary's, but I don't think she's going to need them in support. She's absolutely gassed them. She's ridden one challenge the rest of them aren't going to catch her, and it's another try for St Mary's. 68 points to St Mary's, 12 to Royal Holloway.
Yes, it's. I don't know how she turned that over, to be honest. I was looking at it, and
I just thought they'd still got the ball out of the ruck.
She just seemed to come up with the ball. I don't know whether there was an infraction in there. It seemed like hands in the ruck to me, but the ref didn't call it. He's obviously closer than I am. But yeah, fair enough.
Well, I've got my binoculars, and I was looking at that point. I couldn't work out what was going on, so perhaps if I can't see anything,
great gas, absolutely outstanding.
Oh,
gas.
Wonderful running, wonderful balanced running as well. Riding a couple of challenges,
just little
looping back round towards the post.
Oh, and the clouds are getting darker.
Yeah, getting a little bit thicker, the clouds above us at the moment. There's just a sense there might be a drop of rain a little bit later for the Rugby League, which is, of course, at 3 o'clock this afternoon in a couple of hours' time. That's the main event here on the St Mary's pitch on our West London Varsity 2023.
Yeah, they're unbeaten this year, the Rugby League, so that will be
St Mary's.
Yes.
Yep.
St Mary's Rugby League, so that will be an interesting game.
Well, Brunel, I think it's fair to say you would expect them in rugby union for the men's team most games to turn up and beat St Mary's. But as you say, it's it is a different kettle of fish, the rugby league setup for both sides.
Yeah. Oh, great kick.
Absolutely, smashing kick by
outstanding
St Mary's.
Wow.
Edge of the 15-metre line. The coach is on the pitch congratulating his kicker. Really chuffed with that.
And a hug from one of the Royal Holloway players.
Hug from one of the Royal Holloway players as well.
That really was an outstanding
Really,
kick
really smart kick. Wind in the sails. And is that 70 points now?
Yeah, it must
68, 68 before the conversion. It's 70 points to 12. Royal Holloway did... they certainly made a better show of things in this second half. They were probably never likely to catch the total that St Mary's set in the first half, but some much more progressive play by them. A couple of tries after some sweeping counter-attacks, but St Mary's since then have actually turned the screw themselves.
Now, there's some good little bits from the St Mary's players that have gone over to play for Royal Holloway. Oh,
Emma Doyle's kick slightly short again, but it has just about travelled 10 metres eventually. Ball carrier for St Mary's rides a couple of challenges, knocks the ball on in the tackle. Referee says advantage. Now Royal Holloway just about held up there. Wasn't sure if a driving maul was going to materialise, but it's a breakdown. Player's gone to ground. They've elected to go down the blind side again, and as Alex Reed says, an absolutely fantastic carry by the Royal Holloway ball carrier there. Look like they're going to play it down the blind side again here. Royal Holloway knocks the ball on. Advantage to St Mary's. And they've got an opportunity to break down the left wing with Sophie Roberts. She plays the ball inside. The pass inside was a slightly high, loopy one, but St Mary's have still managed to retain possession. Nice offload there, bit of space to run into down the left wing. Ball carrier for St Mary's rides a couple of tackles. They've gone in a little bit high on her there, possibly over the shoulders. Nothing too dangerous in it. St Mary's, I think, are going to touch down again. Referee says it was knocked on in the tackle, and he's brought it back for an infringement on the edge of the 22, offside, he said there, I think. Possibly was it Royal Holloway offside? Yes, I think so. This will be St Mary's possession now. Yeah,
it's just, or is it, oh no, it's a 22 dropout, I think, because of the knock-on over the line.
Oh, the knock-on was over the try line.
It's just an issue that Royal Holloway are having. They can't actually bring down the St Mary's attackers. They've done a good job of stopping their progress, but they just haven't chopped them low enough. I think a lot of the tackles are pretty high, so they've just managed to staying up, and that means that there's a lot of offloads going on.
Yeah, nothing dangerous about the tackles, it should be said, but just a little on the high side. And as you rightly point out, Alex, drop out from the 22. Smart kick this time by Emma Doyle. Mia Eldridge collects the ball, plays the ball out to her left. There's an overload here for them as well, but I don't think they need it. Nice offload to the inside. Bit of space to run into for St Mary's again.
Offload.
Great offload
Oh,
Driven out into
wow.
touch. Referee says play on, and it's a touchdown again for St Mary's. That's the best try of the afternoon. That really smart, quick hands. That was like watching New Zealand.
Yeah, just an absolutely outstanding no-look offload from one of the St Mary's players on the outside. Just chucked it over her shoulder and hoped another attacking player was there. It went to hand, and then another one inside, and they went over the whitewash. Absolutely brilliant from St Mary's there.
Absolutely fantastic St Mary's try, and the last conversion was a pretty fantastic conversion, it should be said as well. This one looks slightly more difficult.
Yeah, I think they've gone to the policy of whoever scored the try gets to take the conversion now, which is interesting. If
At this stage of the game, I suppose.
If I was a Royal Holloway defender, that would really annoy me, but I am quite competitive, Alex. So
You are.
Yeah.
You are. But as you say, the game's been played in the right kind of spirit for this sort of thing. It's not a dreadful attempt at a kick, actually. The line was pretty good. The length was really short, and I think the referee has called full time there. A tremendously fun game of 10s rugby, Alex Reed. I think that's finished 73 points to 12.
Yeah, I think you're right. Really well played in the right sort of mood. Everyone was up for it. Everyone is in the spirit of the game, because obviously Royal Holloway came here without enough players, and the St Mary's players have really fronted up and played for the opposition really well. So it was nice.
It's quite easy to take your foot off the gas as well once you get to sort of 50 points up or so. Conceded a couple of early tries, regrouped, and I mean, went in for the kill a little bit, didn't they? Really, by the end of it, it was almost stopped being fun. But that last try at the end was really superb hands from.
Really good hands from
6 or 7 different players as well, all involved
in it. The whole
in
of the St Mary's team. Really
Who's
nice.
your player of the match?
I think it's got to be Mia Eldridge for me. She looked the star. She's got a lot of pace. Really difficult to take down in the carry, because she's got really good footwork, good hands, just an all-round
Wonderfully
really
balanced runner, isn't she?
Yeah, wonderful. She was jinking inside, outside. Impossible to tackle for a lot of the defenders, which is a testament to how good she was today.
Well, thanks for joining us here on the Sports Gazette. We hope you've enjoyed this live commentary from West London Varsity 2023. Slight change in the programme this morning due to Brunel unfortunately having to drop out of their fixture against St Mary's. But we've had a fantastic game of 10s rugby here. Alex Reed, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Alex.
Absolute pleasure. And stay tuned for more updates throughout the afternoon on what's happening in the West London Varsity 2023 on the Sports Gazette. Fab. That was fun.